Hello and welcome. Today I'm doing a fun experiment here teaching you how to ice dye with liquid dye if you so desire, and the result it gives you compared to some of the other ways to ice dye. So the way I like to mix my dyes is these are Dharma dyes, so I do 1 teaspoon of dye per 4 ounces is what I like to do. Unless there's a star by it, like the Kingfisher, there's a star by it, and so I do 2 teaspoons per 4 ounces. So the colors I did were Hot Hibiscus, Magenta Galactica, and Kingfisher Blue. So this is just how I mix up my first these are 6-ounce bottles, so I don't fill them all the way up because it's a 4-ounce solution. You can just get these on Amazon. I'll link them below. They're just condiment bottles. I like the ones that have the wider mouth so that you don't have to use a funnel. All right, so I'm taking this damp fabric. It's been soaked in soda ash, and I'm just kind of wadding it up as best I can and putting it in these Magic Tracks barriers. These are just Magic Tracks. They're toys, and they hold the ice really well, so I use them for ice dye. All right, so I'm starting with this liquid. I decided to do dye under the ice and dye over the ice and see how those look different. And then I did just straight liquid to see if it looked different than not using any ice. So this is the dye under the ice, obviously. And then I add the ice to the other one on the right, and I squirt the dye on top of this ice. I tried to keep the pattern the same. I just tried to keep the variables as similar as I could for each set of projects I'm doing here. Alright, so I let that ice melt and I let it sit for about 24 hours. This one here was doing powder. So I misspelled Kingfisher Blue, ignore that, except now you can't ignore it because I literally just pointed it out to you. Anyway, so this I decided to do the powder over the ice so you could see the difference it looked with the same colors of the dye on the ice with powder versus the dye on the ice with liquid, because they are very different results. So same colors, just sprinkled on. Then this last part of the project I did just straight up liquid dye. So I'm just squirting on the liquid dye. I let all of these sit for at least 24 hours. I usually just let them sit until the fabric dries out, because then I know the color is set. Sometimes I don't let them sit that long, but for these ones, that's what I did. So here is the rinse out process. I just showed one. They're all the same, so I just showed one of the rinse out processes. I'm rinsing with cool water, and then I bump it up to hot water, and then I add some Dawn dish soap, and that will expel even more of the dye, and then I wash it in a hot washing machine with Synthropol, which you can get on Amazon or through Dharma. I just find that it really sets the dye and expels all the dye that's not set. All right, so here is the powder on the ice. Here is liquid, no ice. Here is the liquid under the ice, and here is the liquid dye on top of the ice. So then I've got these next few slides are going to show you the comparison of them next to each other. So you can decide if you would like to do liquid with your dye on your ice, if you would prefer to do powder, if you would like to do no ice. You can pick your poison. So thank you so much for watching. Please comment below if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you soon.